In the village of Agaga, tucked among green hills, the night carried a curse. Those who fetched water from the river under moonlight never came back. A mermaid spirit, the villagers said, took them, her voice pulling souls into the deep. But on this hot night, 18-year-old Zina held a clay pot tightly, her heart racing as she stumbled toward the river. Her bare feet bled on sharp rocks, but fear of her stepmother's anger pushed her on. "Get water, or you'll be sorry," Vara had snapped, her lips curling like a snake. Zina's stepsister, Lila, laughed, her eyes shining with cruelty. Zina knew pain well. Since her mother, Elna, died 8 years ago, her life had been full of hurt. Elna was Zora's light, her voice calmed crying babies, her hands made baskets that seemed to hold sunshine. She taught Zina to dance, to find joy in life's rhythm, but a fever took her when Zina was 10. Zina's father, Taro, a trader, loved her deeply but was often away, selling cloth in far towns. He didn't want to remarry, but his travels meant someone had to care for Zina and the house, so he wed Vara. But Vara and her daughter, Lila, filled the home with poison, hiding their meanness behind sweet smiles. Elna's memory was Zina's safe place. More than a mother, Elna was a storyteller, a dancer, a healer. Villagers still spoke of her softly, as if her spirit stayed near. She showed Zina how to weave palm leaves into stars, saying, "These hold your dreams, my love." Zina treasured those moments, dancing in secret when Vara slept, her feet following Elna's steps. But Vara hated Elna's memory. "Your mother was a witch," she sneered, smashing Zina's woven stars. Lila copied her, mocking, "You're just a ghost shadow." They made Zina sweep until her hands bled, cook meals she couldn't taste, and eat scraps like a dog. They sent her to work in fields for no reason and gave her a thin mat by the fire to sleep on. Tonight's task wasn't just work, it was a death trap. Igaga knew of girls sent to the river at night, never seen again. Vara's eyes glowed with hate as she pushed a cracked clay pot into Zina's shaking hands. "Get water from the river. Now." Zina's heart stopped. She knew the stories, kids whispered of bones in the reeds, of screams lost in the night. "Please," she begged, her voice breaking, "not the river. Not at night." Lila smirked, leaning by the door. "Go, or we'll drag you there." Tears burned Zina's eyes as she stepped into the dark, the pot heavy as her fear. Each step on the gravel felt like a march to her end. The river's murmur grew louder, like a beast waiting to pounce. Would she disappear, like the others? Zina's tears fell quietly as she reached the water, its ripples shining like hungry eyes. Her heart pounded, the pot slipping in her sweaty hands. She whispered a prayer to Elna's spirit, asking for strength, when a shadow moved in the dark, Prince Silen, doing a holy ritual by the river. His torch caught Zina's trembling shape. "Stop." His voice cut through the night. Strong and sharp. The pot fell, breaking on the rocks. He stepped closer, his royal beads clicking, and saw her fear. "Why are you here so late? You've interrupted a sacred rite." "The gods want a sacrifice to be calmed," he said, his voice loud, his face hard to read. He took her to a hut near the palace. Zina, dizzy with fear, sank to the floor, unsure of what would happen. At home, Vara and Lila, thinking the mermaid had taken her, celebrated, their laughter cruel as a curse. Zina woke in a strange hut, the air heavy with the smell of palm oil and herbs. A palace maid, her face kind but serious, gave her yam porridge. "Eat, child." The prince saved you. Zina's head spun. Saved? But he mentioned a sacrifice. The mermaid's song still echoed in her dreams, but the real danger was home, and what awaited her here. Vara's plan was clear: get rid of Zina while Taro was gone. Her father's love was her only shield, but his absence left her open to harm. Taro had promised to return soon, his last letter hidden under Zina's mat, its words blurry from her tears. "You are my heart, Zina," he wrote. "Like your mother, you shine." But that shine felt far away now. In the palace hut, Zina's thoughts swirled. Why had Silence saved her? He visited that evening, his presence both strong and soft. "You were brave to face the river," he said, looking into her eyes. Zina mumbled thanks, her voice rough from silence. He talked about a ritual, about gods guiding his path, but her fear drowned his words. What if Vara found her? Igaga buzzed with news, a festival where girls would dance for the prince's hand. Lila, Zina knew, would fight to win. But Silent had other ideas. He spoke to the priest, who said Zina's arrival during the ritual was a sign from the gods. "She is your bride," the old man said, his voice firm. "If it had been a man, he'd be sacrificed. But a girl means the gods accept you." At home, Vara and Lila lied. When Taro returned, tired from his trip, they cried fake tears. Zina ran away, Vara sobbed. "We looked, but she's gone." Taro's heart broke. He got sick, calling for Zina in his fever. Hidden in the palace, Zina felt his absence like a cut. Unknown to her, Silent watched, his heart warming for the girl who faced death and lived. Igaga hummed with excitement. The festival was close, and every girl dreamed of catching Prince Silent's eye. Lila started through the market, her new cloth shining like a bird's feathers. Vara had sold Taro's best cloth to pay for it. Her greed hidden as hope for Lila. "You'll be queen, my daughter," she whispered to Lila, thinking Zina was gone for good. But whispers spread, a strange girl was seen at the palace. Vara laughed it off, sure Zina was dead. Who could this girl be? She shrugged and waved it away. In the palace, Zina changed. Maids washed her with rose water, braided her hair with shells, and dressed her in cloth that fit like a hug. They taught her the festival dance, its steps fast and spinning. Zina's body remembered Elma's lessons, her feet finding the beat despite her fear. Silent watched her practice, his smile kind but careful. "You dance like a breeze," he said, but Zina felt he was hiding something. What did he want? She was no princess, just a girl who escaped death, or so she hoped. One night, a maid shared a scary truth: Silent's ritual needed a sacrifice. Anyone found by the river was meant to die for the gods. Zina's heart froze. Had she been saved only to die later? She faced Silent, her voice shaking. "Am I your sacrifice?" His face softened, but he paused, making her doubt. "No," he said finally. "The priest says you're my future." "Your future? How?" Zina wasn't sure if she could trust him, but his kindness, his quiet visits, the way he listened, started to break her walls. The festival came closer, and Vara, worried by the palace rumors, sent Lila to spy. Pretending to sell fruit, Lila sneaked into the palace grounds and saw Zina dancing. Her heart stopped. Zina, alive? Beautiful? Anger burned in her. She ran to Vara, who made a new plan: poison. They put herbs in Zina's food before the festival, making her fall during her dance. Igaga would call it a curse, and Lila would shine. As they schemed, Zina danced, unaware of the danger. Silen, feeling her fear, promised to keep her safe, but a shadow hung over them. The river's curse felt close. The festival arrived, bursting with color and sound. Drums shook the ground, their beat strong. Villagers filled the square, their clothes bright as the sunset. Lila's group danced first, her moves sharp, her smile cold. The crowd cheered, sure she'd win Silen's heart. Vara stood proud, her poison plan in action. A maid, paid with stolen coins, had mixed a slow poison into Zina's morning stew. By night, Zina would stumble, and Igaga would whisper of the mermaid's revenge. Lila would rise. Zina, not knowing, felt heavy as she dressed. Her cloth, woven with gold, glowed like Elna's stars. Maids painted her hands with patterns, their talk easing her nerves. But her stomach hurt, and sweat dotted her face. She pushed on, driven by Elna's memory. "Dance, my love," her mother's voice seemed to say. "You are enough." Silen visited, his eyes warm with something Zina couldn't name. "You'll light up the night," he said, holding her hand. His touch steadied her, but fear lingered. Was he her savior or her end? Taro, weak from sickness, sat in the crowd, his heart heavy. Vara's lies had crushed him, but he came to honor Zina's memory, thinking she was gone. The MC shouted, "One last group." Zina's dancers stepped out, and the crowd gasped. There she was, her moves smooth as water, her eyes fierce with life. Taro's breath caught. "Zina?" he whispered, tears falling. Vara and Lila froze, their plan falling apart. Zina, alive? Shining? The poison should have worked, but Zina danced on, her body fighting the herb. A loyal maid had switched the stew, sensing evil. Lila's face twisted with rage. She rushed the stage, yelling, "She's a ghost." The crowd stirred, fear spreading. Was this the mermaid's trick? Silen jumped to Zina's side, his voice calming the chaos. "She's no ghost. She's my choice." Igaga roared, but Vara's scream cut through. "She's cursed," she cried, showing her own guilt. Talk of her cruelty spread fast. Zina, shaking, met her father's eyes. Their moment was a spark in the storm, but danger stayed close. Vara had one last trick. The festival's peak was alive with energy. Silen lifted Zina's hand, calling her his bride. The crowd cheered, but Vara's anger exploded. She pushed through the people, eyes wild. "She tricked the prince," she shouted, pointing at Zina. "The mermaid sent her." Lila joined her, their lies a last try. Igaga, full of old beliefs, hesitated. Silen's guards moved to grab them, but Vara pulled a hidden knife, her final move. She lunged at Zina, screaming, "If I can't win, neither will you." Taro, frail but brave, stepped in front, the knife cutting his shoulder. The crowd gasped as he fell, blood staining the ground. Zina's scream broke the night. She knelt by her father, pressing his wound. Silen stopped Vara, his face dark with anger. Guards took her and Lila away, their lies clear. Igaga turned against them, their evil exposed. Taro, breathing hard, held Zina's hand. "I let you down," he whispered. "But you're your mother's girl." Zina cried, her love for him strong despite his absence. The palace healer came, and hope grew, he would live. The festival went on, but Zina's heart was heavy. She danced one last time, not for Silen, but for Elna. For Taro, for herself. Her steps were a prayer, weaving her mother's stars into the earth. The crowd cried, her strength a light. Silen, watching, knew he loved her, not as a sign from the gods, but as a girl who faced death and glowed. He knelt before her, offering not just a crown, but his heart. "Be my queen," he said. Zina, tears on her face, nodded, her smile a quiet win. Bara and Lila were sent away, their names hated in Igaga. Taro got better, promising to rebuild his love with Zina. The wedding, a month later, was full of joy, drums, laughter, and Zina in cloth that shone like morning. She became a princess, but her real gift was kindness. She started village kitchens, making sure no child went hungry. The river's dark stories faded, replaced by Zina's tale, a girl who danced through pain, broke a curse, and found her light. As she stood with Silen, Elna's stars seemed to shine above, whispering, "You are enough." Thanks for watching and listening. Let me know your thoughts about this story in the comment section, like, share, turn on your notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.